Oh, wow. Hi. I was waiting because I thought it wasn't light enough, but I need to turn it up. Hello. How are you? How are you all doing? So, who's here with me? Can you please say hello in the chat box? Hmm. I hope you're able to chat with me. Let's see who's here. See if you could chat and let me know that you're here. And if somebody is new, can you let me know who you are? And if you have osteoporosis or if you have issues in your tissues, knees, hips, something like that. So let's see. Let me ask my technical husband. I see a thing that says unable to connect to chat. So let me see if I can say hello. Okay. Do you guys see my chat over there? Whoever's here? Want to make sure that I can see who's with me. Oh, let me see if I can get my husband to chat with us. Because I don't see anyone else. And I said hello, and it shows that to me. And so I want to make sure that you guys are able to chat with me. Whew, it's hot in here. I see that there's quite a few people here, so I'd love to know who's here. And I'm sure it's some of my regulars. Oh, and I'm sure that some of you out there, Stevie, if you're out there, hello. I'm trying to think who else has told me that they're not able to chat with me. Some people are not able to chat. And I was told it could be because you need an account with Google, and that's a free account. So there's that option. But anyway, I know I'm not here alone because I see that there's people here. So it would be great if I knew that people were here also. It's interesting because yesterday there was a lot of chatting in my classes, and it really, the way that I operate in terms of teaching is that I come in, I could come in with a plan. And because my classes are structured yoga for osteoporosis, yoga for balance, there's an intention I come to class with. And then whoever voices a concern or an issue that they have, I modify the class accordingly. So the group discussion is really important for me because it helps to guide me. Even though, of course, I do have a great class planned. I want to speak to, so I don't see that anybody's able to chat with me. I try to get my husband, he might be on the phone. Um, he's my technical person, so I don't know what's happening. It says for me, unable to connect to chat, please try again later. Um, anyway, well, this is Debbie. This is Yoga for Osteoporosis. And I wanted to make a couple of comments about conversations that I've had with a few of you since Tuesday's class. And that's in the form of texting and emails. So on Tuesday, I introduced some new poses, and the work that I use, or that I'm heavily influenced by Dr. Lauren Fishman because he is a doctor and because safe yoga is my goal. And the key for me is to teach safe yoga. And especially because I work with people who live in aging bodies. So aging is at 40. Most of the people that I work with, I'm going to say 60 plus. And even myself in my 50s, because I had an injury and then major arthritis in my hip and had a total hip replacement, even though I was the age I was, my body was presenting at a different place. And so the work that I do is to teach the strongest, safest, most effective physical asanas. We're talking about the physical practice. My goal in the physical sense is to teach the strongest, safest yoga asana for aging bodies and injured bodies. Because if you have injuries, they see others in the chat room. Hmm. Sorry, technical difficulties. I'm able to see myself, of course, and I'm getting a text from Shannon that she's able to can you see me? Because I see no chat, and I know you guys are saying that there's chat, and so we're trying to figure it out. Huh? Okay, and you can hear wait. Can you okay. Yeah, okay, you say it's all back, but I don't see any chatting. I'm talking to my husband, and I'm also texting Shannon, who's in class, and Shannon said she could see the chat. We've actually not had any problems um, in the 5 or 6 weeks I've been doing this. So this is interesting. This is my first day of, oh no. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to go because everybody's telling me they could see me. Okay. So I cannot see any of your chats. So this is weird. I know Carolyn's here. I know Cindy's here. I know Shannon's here. Probably Stevie's here. So sorry, I cannot see the chats there. That doesn't matter. I mean, matters because I'd love to know that you're here. And I'm happy that I know that some of you are telling me Shannon's here, Carolyn, hide chat. I don't think so. Um, I don't think I hid the chat. No. And my husband said that there was something wrong. So anyway, as long as you guys are here, so any of you that are new to me, I wish that you could tell me over here in the chat box, but for some reason, this is my first time in maybe this is my 50th class I'm doing online. My first time I'm not able to see the chat. So that's okay. You guys can email me or text me and let me know later if you have anything. I wish that I knew that. Oh, she could hear my husband too. That's funny. Scott, they could hear you too.
I
Um,
just use this.
oh, for chat? Okay, I'm going to look over here at the chat.
Yeah, the issue is that we had an internet problem and it does work now, but Debbie would have to refresh her screen and it's probably not a good idea to do that. So I just brought my iPad so she could read the chat.
Okay. I just want to read it just so that I know who's here. Okay, do you need this? Is it going to ding and stuff? Did you turn off noise? Carol, Shannon, Donna, Sharon, Judy number 2, Chachi is back. Great. Isabel, I don't think that I've had you before. You're new. Great. Can you just let me know if you have any issues? Osteoporosis and you have issues in your tissues like knees, hips, any of that. Jeannie, hello. Jeannie, I use your lavender all the time. For me to, in between classes or when I'm doing recordings, I wanted you to know you gave me this, I think from one of your vacations. And I wanted you to know that I'm using your lavender you gave me. Thank you. Um, okay. Cindy, Lynn, Carol, Donna, Carolyn, Judy, number 2, Terry, great. I'm glad you're here. And Neck, Chachi. And then yesterday, Chachi, was it your jaw? I can't remember if that was yesterday. It was jaw. So good to for me to know. And then, okay. Cam, so glad you're here too. So, what I wanted to say that was on Tuesday, we did in the Osteoporosis Warrior 3, I added a new pose, and I've had so much communication from you guys about that. So, that was very interesting. And so, today I will definitely work on Warrior 3 again. Did I say Warrior 2? I meant Warrior 3. I'll work on Warrior 3 again. And this practice that I'm heavily influenced by Dr. Lauren Fishman, I started off saying because the safety factor of him being a physician. And I just spent this morning 2 hours and 4 hours on Tuesday studying with him, and Monday night for an hour and a half. And today, after I get off, I'll be with him again, hips, knees. And then, of course, I did osteoporosis. I've done that 3 or 4 times in this 5 or 6 weeks of isolation. And then I've been teaching this for 6 years, and I got certified 3 years ago, over 3 years ago by him. So the what I teach you is from Dr. Fishman's guidance or through there's that aspect to what I do and then my own experience of having a total hip replacement and having issues. So I wanted to say that. And then today I'll really go over that warrior three, maybe show a modification, and then also modifications for all of this because I can't see you guys. And that makes it hard for me. And the people that are here that I know their bodies and I know where their issues are and I know what their limitations are in range of motion, then when I can see that, I can help guide you on safely modifying poses. So maybe in this format, without seeing you, I need to spend a little more time on the modifications, on where to go. And with that said, the most important thing for me to teach you or to get through to you is the safety factor. The physical poses that we do in yoga are tremendously healing. They can bring the mental energy from a place of anxiety, fear of the future, hopelessness. They could bring all of that angst that many are experiencing now during COVID-19. They can bring that mental crazy energy from a high level into the somatic, into the body to ground the mental energy. So that's one aspect of the physical practice. Then there's the ability to strengthen and strengthening the muscles that support the joints. So if you have issues in your tissues with your ligaments or tendinous issues at the end of the muscles, when we work to strengthen muscles, we actually support joints. And what I learned today on the workshop with Dr. Fishman about the knees is that that arthritis is the largest contributor to disability. 50 million Americans have arthritis. And for many of us that are aging, so over, 40 plus 50, whatever, that happens for a lot of us. So when there's arthritis in the joint, moving the joint, and what yoga does is yoga puts the joint into places you normally wouldn't go. And when you do that, there's secretion of fluids or flexibility that comes into the joint that's very healing. So the work that we're doing is, yes, I'm here for osteoporosis. Let me strengthen my bones. And let me strengthen my muscles that move my bones. Let me strengthen my muscles that support the joints in between my bones. So there's so much we're doing. And then let me understand the breath work to increase my energy, to increase my mental, emotional health. And let me work to ground my energy when it goes crazy. So earlier it was mentioned to me that somebody was having tension in their jaw or their neck. Yesterday it was jaw. Somebody said that. I'm not sure it's the same person. And that held tension in the body is from all that stress we're experiencing. So the work that we're doing today is so powerful and so valuable. And my goal is to teach you how to do it as safe as possible for your body, even though I can't see you. Let me see what else happened here. Frozen. Okay. So you guys froze. I think that was me. I was frozen in time. I think I froze and now I'm stuck. Okay. And it's a delay. So I speak to you. I see myself in this iPad and it's whatever. Okay. I was reading something today about, yeah, it was from Australia. Yeah, I thought that, Jeannie. Thank you so much. Um, oh, yeah. So, Cam, you missed the pillows in the lavender. Can you create your own? The bolsters. I know you guys don't have the bolster. So, for my new people, I know at least one person is new that was chatting. This is a bolster, a regular bolster from yoga. And if you don't have a bolster, can you grab a pillow, maybe two or three of them off of your bed or off of your sofa? And then we're going to need if a blanket or towels will do. So blankets or towels, depending on where you live. We're in Southern California and it is getting hot. It said it's going to be 78 today. So we're getting pretty hot here. The other props I would like for today that I'd like you to grab before we go down are these. A strap, it could be a belt, it could be the loop to your robe, or it could be a towel, a block, or it could be a towel or something that you can roll up that you could use instead of that. And then one more little housekeeping thing is that this side of your screen where the chat box is, I will refer to this as left side when we're standing. I even do it on the floor, but you're probably not watching me as intently when I'm on the floor. So this side of the screen near the chat box will be left. If you go like this, like you were going to come and high five the computer, this would be your left hand touching me, right? It's my right hand, but I'm going to say left. So this is the left side of the body. This is the right side. Um, and that's it. So, all right. I just wanted to see if there's any more chats. Okay, so let's begin. And I like to begin on the floor. It's called attunement or grounding. It's bringing you to you, so the mental energy into the somatic realm. And because this is osteoporosis, the major raised awareness piece that I'd like you all to have is that my upper back, so where the neck attaches to the body and right around the belly button area, that part of your back, this is a no-no for osteoporosis. This is what contributes to fractures in the spine. And it occurs from poor posture. It occurs from an anterior head carriage and from bending over to get something. So this part of our spine, we do a lot of work on. A lot of the poses I do in this class are to open up the chest, to either stretch the front body, the muscles of the front body, or to strengthen the muscles of the back to actually hold you into this position. So a lot of work we do is that in this class. We are going to begin on the floor, and we're going to begin with a chest expansion of some sort. So if you have a bolster that you could use for your chest, you're going to do that. Or for those of you that already know what you need to do and you want to do it, you can go down. So you could use a bolster or pillows or a rolled up towel to go behind the bra line area. And if you'll notice, my upper back is off. So you could use and then support your head with either another towel, a blanket, a block. Always start out with your knees bent if you're going to do something so severe like I'm doing here. If you had at home 2 blocks, so I know that some of you are pretty supplied with props. I know that you have practiced yoga and you have your own props. So I'm going to show those of you, if you have 2 blocks, this is a really nice one with 2 blocks. 2 blocks, you're going to use one of them at the shoulder blade area. So not all the way at the top, the back, but at the shoulder blades. One would go where the shoulder blades are. And the block behind your head is it's the roundness you have in your spine that determines what kind of support you need for your head. Arms are to the side. So this is a pretty big way to open. And then for those of you that have none of that, you're going to get a towel or a blanket. And if you do just a towel or a blanket, you probably might not even need anything underneath your head. I'd like us to start this class with opening up our body. And then Cindy, because you have the shoulder issues, this is good for shoulders. Don't let the shoulders elevate or lift up towards the ears. So make sure that doesn't happen. Hey, are you down there? My little kitty wants to come in. I might let him in. I hope he's not distracting. Everybody has made comments that they love my kitties. And then if they become distracting, I want to make sure they're not in. But he's knocking at the door, so that's Hamilton. And so I wanted to let him in. Very therapeutic cats. All right. So you're going to come all the way into whatever position you've chosen. Come all the way onto the floor. If any of you are out there and you don't want to go on the floor, go onto a bed or a chair. You could be on a chair. If you're on a chair, spread your legs pretty wide so that you don't fall out of your chair. Because this first part of class is meant to calm down the nervous system, to relax the body, and to relax the mind. And if you're in a chair, there might be a tendency to maybe fall asleep. And nobody's ever really done that in a chair, so I want to make sure that that's not a potential. Okay. So let's come all the way down. Close the eyes and start to focus or notice the sound field around you. Sensory input is what stimulates the nervous system. So I'm asking you here to take away sight, which is the main stimulator for the brain. The optic nerve supplies so much information to the brain. So when you close the eyes, you take away this major pathway of stimulation to the brain. And then, of course, if for you closing your eyes triggers something that's unpleasant, minimize the gaze. So it doesn't have to be that you completely close the eyes. Let it be that you minimize what you're taking in through the eyes. And with this chest expansion, you have more awareness on the ribs and on the chest. So we're going to bring our awareness to our breath. So let's do a little bit to take tension out of the mouth. Can you open up your mouth really big, like you were saying, wow? Open up your mouth really, really big. Stretch the tissue, feel the jaw, even feel at the very back of the teeth stretching. And then you're going to take the lower jaw and wiggle it back and forth side to side. Then you're going to relax your mouth, let your lips touch. Let's take the tip of the tongue, and you're going to gently let the tip of the tongue rest where the roof of the mouth and the top of the teeth meet. So very gentle. If you visualize a butterfly when it lands on a flower, the little skinny legs as they touch down, it's a very soft landing. So make your tongue softly land where the top teeth and the roof of the mouth meet. This will allow the lower jaw to soften. And for those of you that mentioned tension in your jaw, your neck, your face, this is a nice relaxed position for the mouth. So allow that lower jaw to soften and to relax. The knees are bent, the feet are flat. And then it's been a little while since we've been here, so you could either stay here with your legs like this, or you could take your legs all the way straight. And then just notice how that feels for your lower back when you do that. So if that brings tension into the low back, bend the knees again. When we bend the knees, we allow the pelvis to go into a neutral position. And when we straighten the legs, the back has to respond, or the back may respond. So see what's appropriate for you. If your legs are straight, spread them about 2.5 to 3 feet. Allow the toes to flop to the side, really comfortable position in the hip joint. Feel the weight of the right leg on the floor and feel the weight of the left leg on the floor. As if you were standing above yourself, looking down at your legs so that you see yourself relaxing. And then bring your awareness to the pelvis, to the tushy area. Feel the weight of the pelvis on the floor. And then bring your awareness to your right arm and into your left arm. And feel the weight of the left arm, let it go. Feel the weight of the right arm, let that go as well. So allow your muscles that hold you up all day, whether you're sitting or standing, cooking, doing whatever it is you're doing. This is a time to let the muscles turn off. Gravity is no longer pushing down from the crown of your head onto your shoulders, onto your upper back. Gravity is now pushing down on you from your whole front body. And we're going to take that gravitational force and use it to cause relaxation in the muscles and to allow an opening in the chest, to allow the upper arm bone to sink a little deeper in the socket, where it will be more relaxed and it will take away the pressure from the front of the joint that happens when we stand up. So for shoulder issues, this can be really therapeutic. If you feel anything weird or uncomfortable, you could take your hands down, work with the hand position and the upper arm bone position to find what feels appropriate for you. And then the other thing I'm going to bring in now too is the potential for there to be scoliosis, functional scoliosis, or maybe even, I don't know if it would be called congenital if you've had it from birth, probably. Whatever you notice, I want you to notice stuff here in your back. So this gives you the ability to stretch muscles to help to get the joints to be in proper alignment. When the joints are in proper alignment, it minimizes the wear and tear on the joint. And that can be therapeutic and healing. Add healing pressure to areas that you need to release or reduce tension. Bring your awareness to the back of the head, feel wherever that is. And then bring your awareness to the front, to your breath, to your nose, to your nostrils. And then let's notice the temperature here. For those of you in warmer climates, harder to detect the coolness of the breath coming in the body. The body is 98.7. The external temperature is like 20 degrees less, or in some cases, maybe more. So notice what you notice. See if you could detect the breath coming from the outside to the inside. And usually when we start to pay attention to our breath, we naturally begin to deepen our breath. So begin to take longer, deeper breaths. When you slow down your breath, when you equalize your inhalation to your exhalation, you're sending a text message to your nervous system that everything is okay, that the coast is clear. You're sending a text message of safety. And that's a good thing. That's a healing thing. Bring your awareness to your entire torso, the rib cage area, and even below. And as you breathe in, feel yourself expanding as much as you can with breath. Hold the breath at the top, and then slowly, 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 slowly let the breath go. Do that 3 more times. As you breathe in, you expand. You pause at the top for at least 1 count, or maybe up to 3 counts. And you slowly, 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 slowly let the breath leave the body, extending the exhalation, stimulating the relaxation response inside the body. Wherever you are, finish with that last breath. When you let go of that last breath, bring your awareness to your fingers and to your toes and start to wiggle fingers, start to wiggle toes. Start to move ankles, start to move wrists. If the knees are not bent already, bend the knees. We're going to roll onto our right side. You're going to bring your arm across your body and roll onto your right side, off of the props, whatever you were on. You're going to take your left hand on the floor in front of you, leading with the left shoulder, not the head. Notice if your head wants to come up first. That's how most of us come up. Let it be your shoulder, your left shoulder that leads the way because you're pushing your left hand into the floor and using your chest to bring yourself up. Okay. Osteoporosis is a metabolic condition. It is a breakdown of the bone building cleanup system internally. So the setup of the autonomic nervous system, the relaxation response that we just did, we used body sensing or ground somatic awareness as I had you think about your body, do things to your body, think about where your tongue is going, move your jaw back and forth, open and close it, feel or notice or see the body. That was somatic awareness to ground your mental energy, to put yourself internally into a place where your body metabolically can go around building bone so that when we stimulate it now with these strong poses we do and stretches, that you will stimulate bone growth. The other thing I want to note is that you do you because everyone else is taken. So whatever you do in this class with me is good for you. Don't try to be superwoman or man if you're here. Not as many men have osteoporosis because they don't lose their testosterone until age 70, and we lose our hormones when we go through menopause around the age of 50. Not fair? I don't know. I feel more wise now that I'm not so hormonally driven in life. So I'm okay with that. Okay, before we go down, please have your block, your strap, have a blanket for your head. We're going to come down onto the floor, warm up the body, and then go right into doing the poses to stimulate bone growth. That's why we're all here, right? Yes, you little silly chain. And stretching the shoulders, which we just did. Cindy, be careful with this because I know you have issues in your shoulder. So what I would recommend is you play with hand position or placement. So either the way the fingers are facing, and then don't come up as high. Feet are on the floor. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, push your feet into the floor, lift your hips, let your knees move away from you, and then inhale to lower. Exhale to come up. Inhale to lower, and then one more time, exhale to come up and stay here. We're going to stay here for 30 seconds. This is one of the new poses, which is a 30-second hold. If having the pelvis up high does not feel good, lower the pelvis if you need to. Push your heart forward. Lift your chest up. That's where the work is in this pose. If the elbows need to be bent a little bit, go ahead and bend the elbows. If you could come into full tabletop, that's straight arms. Oh no. And the pelvis is lifted. Oh, you silly boy, stop that. And then take one more breath. And then go ahead and go all the way down. Not sure if you guys saw that, but my cat with my hair dangling reached up with his paws and went like that on my head. Hey, you silly little silly. But I do love him. I'm so in love. I think you might have mentioned it before. I feel like I have a new boyfriend, and this is him right here. Crazy love I feel for this boy. Okay, this is my osteoporosis class, assuming you all are here for that and have that, whether it's osteopenia or porosis. To come down, you're going to reach your hand away. I'm facing your right side, so if you're on this side, you're going to take your right hand. As you reach your hand away, this will keep the scapula or the shoulder blade on the back so that you don't want to squish my boyfriend. All right, come all the way down onto the floor. Take your arms all the way and stretch your legs. By the way, he's in here by popular demand. For many, they've said that they enjoy. Oh, and maybe She's Way is with us. She's Way, by the way, guys, She's Way is back. You'll remember her. She has a very strong, beautiful practice. And so she is not able to text with us, but she is showing it to class. I just wanted to say that. Reach your arms really to the right. Take your left hand to the left. And then draw that right leg over to the left. Try to get as much stretch as you could feel in your body. Hold on behind your thigh. Inhale and exhale to bend and unbend that leg. Take the leg straight after 3. Point the toe. Contract your core. So draw everything inward. Press down towards the spine as you lengthen to lower that leg slowly. Inhale, arms are overhead. Exhale, draw the left knee in. Draw it in as deep as you can. Hip flexion, and you feel the lengthening of the psoas on the other side. Inhale, straight out to the side, lengthening the adductors. These are muscles we use and work with in this class. You're going to bring your knee across your body as far over as it feels comfortable.
And then you're going to take your hands behind, inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more. On the third one, pointing the foot, contract the core, drawing inward, upward, downward, and then pressing back to support the spine. That's the whole cylinder of the core. Now we're going to do one breath, one movement. Inhale, stretch your body glove. Exhale, right knee in. Inhale, right knee to the right. Exhale, draw that knee across the body. Inhale to hold on behind the knee, unbend. Exhale, bend. Work towards going to straight if you can. Try to go all the way towards straight. Really stretch that hamstring. Flex, extend the leg, point the toe, contract the core, and lower down slowly. Inhale, arms are overhead. Exhale, draw that left knee into your chest. Inhale, open left leg to the left. And exhale to draw that leg across the body. Holding on behind the thigh, inhale to unbend. Try to go to straight, as close to straight as you can get. And if you can't, don't worry, but this is stretching your hamstring. Point the toe, contract the core, press the belly button down to the spine as you lower down. One more each side. Inhale, stretch your body as much as you can. As you exhale, draw that knee in as deep as you can. When you move it out to the side, it's only the leg that's moving, not the torso or the body. Don't let the body move at all. Exhale, let just the leg go over to the side. Try not to move your body here other than the leg. Inhale to straight, exhale, bend. Inhale, straight, exhale, bend. Last one. Inhale, straighten, point the toe, and slowly, slowly lower the leg. Last side. Inhale, arms are overhead. Exhale, draw that left knee in. Inhale to open the left knee to the left. Exhale, draw that leg across the body. Inhale, unbend. Exhale, bend. Inhale, unbend. Exhale, bend. Last one. Inhale, unbend. Contract your core. Slowly lower the leg. If the knee needs to be bent, that's okay. Bring your legs to a bent knee position. Take the hands to the side in scarecrow arms. The elbows are bent. The palms are up towards the sky. Push your feet into the floor just to lift the tushy for a second to come into a neutral spine or neutral position. Take your feet off the mat or barely touching the mat. I'd like really wide knees here, wide feet. We're going to windshield wiper our legs side to side. This is going to warm up the spine, warm up the lateral chain. It's more hip joint warm up. It also warms up the knees, and it's going to prepare the body for the back bending we do, for the rotational work we do, and then for the hip joint here. A lot of work in this class focuses on the hip. Try to be in your body in the place of feeling. So keep grounding that mental energy into the physical body, taking the subtle energy of you, which is your mental energy, emotional energy, into the gross, which is your physical, the solid, what we see. Let your legs go over to the left. When they get there, let them rest and take the right hand up. Reach the right hand away from you. So let the right hand barely be off the floor and flex the wrist so the energy comes out the heel of the hand like you are a spider person and you're going to shoot a web on the room across from you. And then push that front right hip up towards the sky. Extend the spine, push the heart up towards the sky. Really stretching your body glove, stretch your tissue as much as you could feel. Take one more breath. And then contract the core, push the belly back towards the spine, slowly come up, and then slowly allow the knees to move over to the right. When you get there, let them go, and especially that right knee. Activate that left arm, reaching it off. No bend in the elbow joint or the shoulder joint. Reach the hand out. If the hand does not feel good up here, lower the arm for those of you with shoulder issues. That's usually something that helps if you have shoulder issues, is don't elevate the arm bone because you don't want to impinge that joint. You don't want to get the top of that humerus head, the ball, to bang up against the acromion process. Reach that left hand away. Push that front left hip. So minimize that flexion, the bend. Make it go straight. Push the heart up towards the sky. Reach, reach, reach. And then breathe down to your belly. Feel this. This feels really great. Pushing the heart up, adding that extension in the thoracic. This is the opening that front spine we want to do. Take one more breath and then bring yourself back to center. Come all the way up. Let's begin with one of the first poses in the practice. Get a strap or a towel or a belt from your closet or the strap for your robe. And then I'm going to have you put the strap underneath the feet. So don't go to the arch. Don't go to the arch. Go underneath the toes. So underneath the feet. Yeah. Underneath the toes. This is your, if you're looking at me, it's your right leg. If that works for you. If you have another leg, don't worry about it. I'll try not to talk about which one it is. Take the other leg straight if that feels good for your body. And then you're drawing the leg back towards the wall behind you. Straight leg. That's important for osteoporosis. You want to have a straight leg here, no bend in the knee. We're trying to pull on the pelvis. Really draw that knee back towards the wall behind you. And then notice if that waist is getting shorter. So try to lengthen your waist as you pull the leg back. And then let go of that breath. So I know I have one new person here with me, so I'm going to go to the other side instead of going into a different pose to make this easy. Take the strap right underneath the toes. Lengthen the other leg if that feels okay. If you still need to keep it bent, keep it bent. You're drawing that leg towards the wall behind you. And then make sure you didn't shorten the waist in the process. So make sure there's length on, if you're looking at the screen, it'll be your left leg that's doing this. Draw that leg towards the wall behind you. Notice what you notice here. Is this side tighter? Is this side the same? You're drawing the leg back. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back to center. We're going to come into Supta Padangusthasana number 2, which is the adductor stretch. This is the inner thighs. So you're going to take a hold onto the strap. Draw your hands down closer to your body. You'll need a little bit more strap in between you and your foot for most of you. If you were a super limber person, you could hold onto your toe. Not very many people could do that. You're going to, as you lengthen your leg out to the side, keep it where it is. Don't let the leg go forward, okay? So keep the leg to the side as you lengthen it out to the side. Go as far as you can. If this leg starts to jump off the floor, contract your core, push your belly to your spine. Take your elbow, your right elbow, press your right elbow or your opposite side elbow into the floor. And the other elbow is also helping to hold that foot up. And then no external rotation. So keep your foot from going into external rotation so that you make sure we're in the adductor muscle group here. And these muscles are attached to the spine, the pelvis. So we're trying to create stimulation in the pelvis, especially that precarious place that if you have a fracture in this region of the body can be, I'm going to say deadly, because 50% of the people don't survive that break. Take one more breath. And then the knee, or you could come with a straight leg. So what I just said about being deadly, I want to also say that there's an age-related aspect to that as well. So the older and the more frail you become, the more deadly a break will be. And because you're all here in this class doing this strong work, frail will not be you. That is not something you're going to become. So there's many factors that are a part of that, and you're all here to go against that. Now you're going to switch your leg. See how my strap is up near my toes? So not down here in the arch. It's going to be up underneath the toes, the widest part of the foot. You're going to slide your arm down, lengthen that leg out to the side, no external rotation. Elbow holds that leg. And then your other opposite elbow presses into the floor to help root down that side. Mentioned earlier today too about the joints and the range of motion we get from yoga. For a lot of us, we don't have our legs spread this wide. So we're actually in the joint capsule of the hip here. We're moving that joint in a bigger range of motion, which is going to secrete synovial fluid and give more movability in terms of arthritic aspects. And then we're stretching the adductor muscle, which is attached onto the inner knee, which can be very therapeutic also for knee issues. And so those are just therapeutic things. And what we're trying to do with osteoporosis is pull on the pelvis, the ischial tuberosity, that is going to strengthen this precarious area of the body to fracture. Take one more breath. And then you're going to exhale, bring yourself back to center. Let's take the strap, put the strap to the side. We're going to come into our bridge pose. And I'd like to do bridge pose with a block. So if you have a block, get a block. And if not, use a towel or a blanket. And then remove the blanket from behind your head. That's important. Take your head. So I'd like the pressure in your head to be right below the nose. That's where you want to feel your head touching the floor, not above like to where the bridge of the nose is. So you don't want your chin up in the air. You want nice long neck in the back. Walk your feet as close as you could get them to your body. Now, once we go up, do not look to the side. Do not look to me. When we come up off the floor, you want your body weight to come into the upper back, not into the head and the neck. So you're going to squeeze your block, take your arms alongside your body, contract your tushy, let your low back fall closer to the floor. So come with a tilt, a posterior tilt in your pelvis. And then you're going to slowly, slowly, slowly lift. Keep looking up towards the sky. Feel the weight coming to your upper back, not your head and neck. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Squeeze the block, contract the glutes. Lift the body a little higher. For those of you that know how to tuck the shoulder blades closer to the spine and come into a clasped arm position, do that. For those of you that are unable to do that, you could bend your elbows, bring your hands, palms face each other, fingertips are up towards the sky. So come into whatever range of motion, whatever you have the ability to do. Squeeze the block, contract the tushy. This will also help with disc herniations in the lumbar spine, as per Dr. Fishman. So if you do have herniations there, contract your glutes strongly, squeeze your tushy cheeks, squeeze the block, and then move the knees away from you. Feel the weight for all of you in the upper part of your back area. And then push the heart up towards the face. Now, I'd like you to take at least 2 more breaths if you can. And if you're feeling pretty good and strong, some of my more advanced students, take 5 breaths and then come down at the end of your 5th breath. For your last breath, squeeze the heck out of the block, contract your tushy, move your knees away from you, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen that back. When you prepare to come down, take the tension out of the arms and start to put one spine bone, push one vertebra, starting all the way up where you're off the floor by the heart or above the heart. Push one bone at a time. When you come close to the lower ribs, pop up onto your tippy toes. Try to put the lower back on the floor first before the tushy touches. Lengthening, lengthening the spine. Coming all the way down. Feel your sacrum, which is in your pelvis, touch the floor. Take the block out to the side. And then bring the knees into the chest, rocking side to side. When the knees are in the chest, you add flexion to the lower lumbar spine. That's therapeutic for many, maybe even most. There are some spinal conditions that flexion is counterindicated. One being spinal stenosis. Then you're going to roll onto your right side. Take your left hand leading with that shoulder. Push your hand into the floor like crazy to be what helps you come up. What are you doing? Okay, let's come. I hope you're doing okay so far. That's 3 poses to stimulate bone growth.
Let's come on to our seated twist. You're going to sit high on something. So it depends on how much range of motion you have in your body. I'd say for many, having the double fold on the blanket is very helpful to get a little lift in the pelvis. When you come onto your blanket, I'd like you to come to the very edge of your blanket so that you actually feel like your body weight is falling forward. Because remember, with osteoporosis, this is what we're trying to avoid. So when we do this twist, the really important thing is that you have length in your spine and then you rotate your trunk. Now, almost all of the rotation in the spine, I believe Dr. Fishman said 80%, occurs right here where the middle spine and the lower spine meet. It's called your thoracolumbar joint. So when we do our rotation, it's the lower ribs where it starts, where it all happens, from low ribs on up. So you want to have length in your spine, and you also want to be in this extension. So the chest is pushing up. You want that in your. So let's go ahead and bend the right leg. So bend your right leg, bringing your foot onto the floor. And then if you activate the foot and you activate the straight, pushing down into the floor, you can get a higher lift. Now you're going to need to check your posture here because I can't see you. So what I notice sometimes is people are here, so they're not on top of their pelvis. It takes a lot to have that 90-degree flexion in the hips here. And this is for stimulating the hips. So we are focusing on the hips here and also on the spine. You're going to take your left hand, bring your left hand onto your right knee. Take your right hand on the floor behind you. I like to put it right alongside my body. When I push down, I can get a nice lift. Lower the shoulders, slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, let the lower ribs rotate around, the middle ribs, and the upper. Press your feet into the floor, both feet into the floor. And with that pushing down, get tall, slide the shoulder blades together, keep your shoulders low, and rotate, rotate, rotate. What? What? What are you doing, honey? We're twisting. Push your heart forward. Feel like the puppeteer would have a string right where your heart is, and that's being lifted up towards the sky. And there's a string in the very center of the crown of your head that's lifting up as well. And then your chin is parallel to the floor. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other, lower the shoulders. And then take one more breath. And then go ahead and slowly come out. Let's do the other side. You're going to take one leg straight, the other leg is bent. Hold on to your leg first to get nice and tall, to try to sit right on top of your pelvis. Take your right arm around your left leg. Take your left hand on the floor behind you. Get tall first. Lower the shoulders, slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Take an inhale. And on that exhalation, start to rotate from the lower ribs, the middle ribs, the upper ribs. Pressing down your foot in the floor and your leg in the floor, your hand into the blanket, get nice and tall. Add that rotation from lower ribs, the middle ribs, upper ribs. Deep breaths down to your belly. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. We are doing a plank challenge now that we're virtual during COVID-19. We're doing a virtual plank challenge. So we're doing a 1-minute plank challenge. And I'll give you your breaths. Let's see if you're able to notice that you're getting stronger over time. A lot of you have reported that you are. So you could either do a full plank, you could do a modified plank. For shoulder issues, you could come down and do a dolphin plank, or a modified dolphin. It's all good. And even if you're here coming on to all fours and you bring your forward, that is going to put some challenge into the core. So whatever you need to do, find what's right for you. Bring your arms right underneath your shoulders. Take one leg back and then take the other leg back. Come up into whatever plank you're doing. Reach your head away from you. Reach your feet away from you. The core from the lower ribs to where the legs attach to the body. I want you to think about the lower ribs coming closer to the legs. It won't move a lot. And then you push the belly button up towards the spine. This will help with low back. So if you push the hands into the floor or the elbows or the forearms into the floor, and you feel like you're dragging them or your feet, and the low ribs feel like they're thighs, press the belly button strongly up towards the spine. Reach out the crown of your head, reach out your heels. Feel the strength in your body and use the breath as power. Draw the power in through the breath. Oxygen is what gives you, it is a necessary ingredient for cellular energy production. And then go ahead and come down. Take your hands, roll out your hands. In one direction, roll them out in the other. And then go ahead and bring a foot forward. Flip the back toes under. This is a safe way to get up. This is what physical therapists teach people, to safely transition from one body position to the next to the next. We were on the floor for a long time. Then we were in plank. We're allowing the calibration of the blood pressure to catch up. So when we get up, we don't see stars. Take your body weight back and then come forward slowly, loading up your legs to bring yourself up to a standing position. So we're gonna need a chair or a wall for this. Not all of you, some of you can do it without, but many I'd say do. And to be honest, even if you don't need it, it's actually a nice thing to have a chair there. So I'd like to add a new pose that we just did. It's one of the new poses in the new series. Let me put this up just a little bit. Okay. So I'd like us to do a new pose here. It's chest expansion. It's kind of like a standing camel pose. You're going to take your hands behind you and clasp them. Now, some of you will be able to bring palms together. Some of you, the palms will be apart. And then for some of you, you may need to just grab onto forearms. So see what works for you. And the key here is that we're going to narrow the front of our body. So we're not in it yet. I just want you to try to practice getting into it. So see how the front of my body is more wide, my arms, you can see the outside part of my arms. When I take my arms down and back and away, I get more narrow in the front, right? So I'm here, and then as I bring my palms together and I reach my hands down, so this is the pose here. Now you want to be careful. I want the extension to be in the upper chest. So think about the heart reaching up towards the sky, and then contract your core. You can put a slight bend in your knees if you'd like here. Reach your tailbone down to the floor so you protect your lumbar spine. And then start to take deep breaths here. Look across the room where the wall and the ceiling meets. Do not look down. Reach your chest up. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other, and then the shoulder blades are pushing into the chest to reach the chest forward. Feel that stretch in the shoulder area, the chest area, belly button towards the spine, tailbone is reaching down. Reach your hands down like they're being pulled down to the floor. Take one more breath. And then slowly, slowly bring yourself out your hands. Let's do a little shoulder. Strong, strengthening the muscles that hold your body into extension, which is what we want more of in our lives. Not even just for osteoporosis, just in general. So moving the elbows up and back. lubricating that shoulder. Take your arms to the side, shake, shake, shake. So I like to say get a chair because what I would really like here is a very wide stance so we can really load up the hip joint here and come into safe flexion in the knee joint. And if you don't have a chair, you could be near the wall with a really wide stance coming into the pose we're going to come into. So when people don't have a chair in front of them, they're less inclined to be here and they're more inclined to be here. So I like the chair in front because I'd like you to have a wider stance so that when you load up your joints, you're safe. Bring yourself into a really wide stance. We're going to go into a warrior two. This also strengthens postural muscles in the upper body, strengthens hips, knees. This is a great, really strong, powerful pose for many issues, not just osteoporosis, but a lot of things. Knee health, hip health, balance, coordination, lots of stuff. Really wide stance. I'm going to call this your left side. So I'm going to direct for the left. Pick up your left toes, point your left toes to the left, and then point your right heel to the right. Nice stance. The hips are facing forward. And then put your hand on the chair or put your hands on your waist to do a little bit of bending to just warm up that left knee. And when you do this, push down your right foot. Push at the pinky toe edge. There's no air whatsoever on the right side of your foot. It's the arch that's lifting up and the right big toe presses into the floor. And then come down. When you come down, make sure your knee is on top of your ankle and that your ankle is not closer to your body. Make sure knee and ankle are on top of each other. Go as low as you can. The lower you go, the more intense this is. Contract your core, push your belly button to your spine. Tailbone is pointing down towards the floor. Push your left knee to the left. So don't let the left knee cave in. Bring your arms up. Take your shoulders up into your ears for 1 second and then slowly press them down. Push your hands back, slide your shoulder blades towards each other. Look over your left middle finger and now let your head look over your right. Make sure your right is coming right off the body and not forward. Come back to look over your left middle finger. Lift your right arch off the floor. Push strongly into the pinky toe edge of the right side. Push your left knee to the left. This is going to be good for knees. Come down as low as you can comfortably. Now imagine that there's a string lifting your heart up towards the sky. Shoulder blades are moving towards each other, shoulders are down. Take one more breath. And then slowly, slowly come up. On Tuesday, I did pretty strong holds. We're doing a pretty long hold here. We're doing longer holds than 30 seconds today, in case you can't tell. And on Tuesday, I got a nice message from a student that used to practice with me on Saturdays, and he moved back to England 18 months ago. And he was like, he did the osteoporosis, and he is in the UK in London. And he said, it was so great to practice and to do the nice, strong, deep work. So we're doing a little longer holds. If you're new and if this is a challenge for you, don't stay in as long as we do. At least 12 seconds, preferably 30 seconds. We're doing a little longer. Feet are wide. Take the right foot to the right and take the left heel away. And then we're going to push down into that left leg so that when you bend, you go straight down. You don't go forward with this. Let this hip joint flex so that you come down. If you don't add flexion here, let me see, where's the issue there? You don't load this up. It's this right here. You want flexion in this back hip. Okay, then come all the way down. When you're down, you push your right knee to the right, moving the right knee to the right. Lift the left arch off. Energy comes down the side of the left leg. Just put that there just for visual in case you need that. Coming down as low as you can towards a 90-degree angle, looking over your right fingertip, and then let your head look over your left fingertip. Make sure it's there. Bring your shoulders up and then bring your shoulders down. Slide your shoulder blades towards each other. Look forward over that right middle finger, pushing the right knee to the right. Push the belly button, the spine, tailbone down towards the floor. Lift that left arch off the floor. The energy is coming down the left outside leg. And then imagine that the puppeteer has a string on your chest, lifting your chest up towards the sky. Take one more breath. And then let's go ahead and come out of that. Come all the way straight. I want you to shake your legs. Okay, we're going to come into our warrior three. A little bit about this warrior three. I don't think I gave you guys, I think I had you come into the full pose. So let me just show you what the full pose is. I like it with a chair. The question was asked. These are hips, hip lights, hip bones. And this is my heart light. Heart, hip. They're going to stay facing down towards the ground. You're not going to let your hips open, or especially want the raised leg. So that's the important thing. So with warrior three, with the warrior three pose, warrior three, the leg lifts up towards the sky. It's so funny. I wore this line here on my legs today to show this. Okay. My hips are pointing down towards the ground. My standing leg is straight. There's a lot of compressive force in that hip joint. You want to make sure that this doesn't happen. So now my toes are pointing to you and my hip light is pointing to you. I want my hip light and my toes to point down. So for some of you, what you're going to notice is you can't lift your leg here. Maybe your leg is here. Maybe it's here. Maybe it's here. It does not matter. So let's come on to left leg. I'd like it if you had a chair. If you don't have a chair, you could do this against the wall, because we're going to actually take our hands away, or you could take one hand away or both, depending on whether you can do that. And then I think I told some of you to do a foot against the wall. That's also an option. The lifted leg can go up against the wall. Okay, so let's come on to our left leg. Walk back. Flex at your hip. I'm trying to think of all the questions that were asked in the emails. The left foot is on the floor. Left toes are pointing forward. Don't have your toes out to the side. Toes are pointing forward. Contract your tushy. So this right here in my low back is called extension, like a sway back horse. If I contract my core and add a posterior tilt to my pelvis, I support that low back. Draw everything in and push it up to add that extension in the lower spine. Then you're going to slowly, slowly start to lift your right leg up towards the sky. For first phase, you could keep your hands here. You could bring your arms alongside your body. This is called airplane pose. Or if you want to come into warrior three, it's forward. Now, in terms of a locked standing knee, let your leg, your standing leg, it doesn't have to be stick straight. There can be a slight bend in the knee. I think that might have been a question that was asked. And depending on whether you have issues in your tissues or not, this is my hip that's kind of getting arthritic because my other one, whatever, because of my issues in my tissues. So contract the core, protect that spine, lift the leg, point the toes of the leg in the air, up down towards the ground. Reach, reach, reach. Take one more breath. And then slowly come out. You're going to notice tremendous glute, lots and lots of glute work, which is great. Don't we all want our glutes to get strong? Okay, I think I've told you guys this before, but this modern generation, they're trying to get their butts big. I tell my daughter, I'm like, what? Like our generation, it was trying to like tone your butt, get your butt small. Now the goal is to get a big butt. My daughter's like, you don't even have a big butt. I'm like, oh my gosh. I always thought I had a big tushy. Whatever. Anyway, just had to add that there. Okay, so you're going to come away from the chair. You're going to start to lift your leg up, up, up. Toes are pointing down to the ground. Now, this is my leg. I have a hip replacement. So because it doesn't communicate the same way as the other hip, it's very interesting for me. So you can keep your arms, you could take your arms back into your airplane, or you could bring them forward into your warrior three. Make sure your hips are pointing down to the ground. Protect your core.
Let your big toe press into the floor of your standing leg. Ah! Take one more breath. And then go ahead and come out. So you have to modify according to what's right for you. Because this is my hip replacement side, and I had it 3 years ago, and I feel very strong. So I think I'm a very strong, limber person. This is kind of the action that happens because it's ceramic and titanium and plastic, and it doesn't have that same level of communication the way that this does. It's very interesting. So for the modification for myself on that side, because I kept collapsing in, I chose to put the opposite hand on and to help me support me. And so you do what you need, what's right for you, and maybe you spend a little bit more time on one side than the other. That's what I usually do when I'm trying to develop one side. Maybe I'll do left side twice and right side once. So you have to choose what's right for you. That's it. It's time for us to come into our Shavasana. Sorry, unfortunately. I wish I could do more. I wish we had more time. That's always my thing. I always want to go more and more and more. And I do have another class coming up in the next 15 minutes after this. So if you did feel that you wanted more, you could stick around for yoga for balance. But for now, let's go down onto the floor and let's go back to that place where we let the nervous system calm down so that all of the work you just did and all that stimulation that we created inside of our body can go into a place of relaxation so that that metabolism of the bones getting stronger can happen. Unobstructed or unobstructed. Come all the way onto the floor. Legs could be at the wall. Pillows could be underneath your knees. Support your head. Use oils if you'd like. And just stay with your breath. Rest your tongue back at where your teeth are to relax the jaw. Govinde Mukande Udare Apare Kariyam Kariyam Diname Akame Govinde Mukande Udare Apare Kariyam Kariyam Diname Akame Govinde Mukande Udare Apare Hariyam Kariyam Nilame Kame Govinde Mukande Udare Apare Hariyam Kariyam Nilame Kame. So gently begin to deepen your breath and start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start to roll your ankles and your wrists. And then gently bring the knees into the chest, rocking side to side. And then rock all the way onto your right side. And then leading with that left shoulder, bring yourself up to a seated position. We're going to close the practice with sound. We're going to seal the deal with sound. We're going to use the sound Om, which is a blending of the ah, the o, and the sound, coming from the back of the throat with the open mouth to the ah, to the o, and then closing the mouth to the Take your hands together, rub your hands together. Allow the thumbs to touch the sternum bone, lengthen the back of the neck, sit nice and tall, chin slightly tucked down. Take a deep breath down to your belly. We bow our heads to each other in Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for practicing with me. So I had a thought. I want to run it by you guys, whoever's here, whoever wants to participate. So one of my goals is to expand the view of what this word yoga means. And most people, and even when I've traveled around the world, when I was in Bali, I felt this. When I was in India, I felt this. Most people think that yoga is physical and it's asana. And the images that are out there of people practicing yoga are the, skinny little 20 somethings with their nose in their foot and all these crazy poses. And my goal is to let everyone know that yoga is for everyone. Yoga is really mostly about the mind and calming the mental energy. And then it's for the mind, because if you keep your package that you live in strong and healthy, it'll minimize pain and discomfort, which will make your mind and your emotional body happy. So my goal is to show people who is practicing yoga. So I want to see if any of you are willing to do this. I'd love to have a photo of you practicing yoga. So it could be, in any position. It could be even just sitting with your legs crossed or doing this. This is actually a nice way to do it, having your hands together or whatever. In your sweats, in your ratty tatty t-shirt, if you have one on, whatever it is. You don't have to be a super well lit place, so it doesn't have to show off your face too much if that's something that concerns you. I want to create a page on my site
of testimonials and of images so that people out there can see that this is for them. So someone else that might have issues or whatever it is, they don't have props, they're using blankets and towels and pillows. So I would love that if some of you could have somebody in your house take a shot, especially because we're all home. So that's my real big thing is the home practice piece. If they could have, if you could have somebody take a photo of you, it could be in tree pose, it could be whatever for those of you that have a stronger practice or whatever, and you want to show off that. But I would love it if I could get some of you to send me images of yourselves practicing. Um, I hope that, let me see if the new girl is still here. Can't remember her name off the head. Chachi, how are you doing? And then who was that new person that was joining us? Isabel or Isabel. Can you let me know how you feel? Um, and then, where are we here? Okay. Thank you, Donna and Jeannie and Shannon and Cindy. Yeah, Cindy, shoulder tips because your shoulder is like our shoulder, and so many people have shoulder issues. The joints I think that are the most affected in life are knees, back, and shoulders. That's what I hear a lot of. Um, Yoga is for all, Chachi. Exactly, it is for all. Um, yeah, really great, Carolyn, feeling stronger. And that's going to help you overall with any other issues you have in your tissues. Um, yeah, you guys love Warrior 3. I've had a lot of that. Um, and then what was really interesting to me as well, it was really, really, I got a great email yesterday from somebody that that when she does the static poses, so the Warrior 2 held in the long, deep pose, that's not comfortable for her. But when we did a warrior dance yesterday in my classes, one of them, I can't remember which, and that gave her so much fluidity in her body that this discomfort she was feeling, that she actually was taking a pain cream, putting a pain cream on, was gone. So I love to hear all the stories. I love to hear it all. Okay, if you're not subscribed to me, please subscribe. If you like what you're seeing, can you give me a thumbs up, please? And I better get off because I have a class in 8 minutes. So if you want to be with me, my next class, balance, I'm going to be doing, I'm going to work on stretching the thoracic spine. I'm going to stretch the legs. So some of the legs we did a little bit today. I'm looking at my notes I wrote for myself. And then we're going to be doing some challenges standing. So if you want more yoga, then come back in 8 minutes. I'll be here. Okay, I need to go so I can kind of regroup myself, regroup my energy. Thank you so much for coming. Please send me photos, send me comments, suggestions, share this with whoever you think may benefit. And thank you for showing up for me. I will see you next time. Bye.